uh introducing Scott to the kids.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So this was December. You were texting, and Marissa said that she figured it out and that
Uh-huh.
you had been gone like every other weekend. And then you ended up
Uh-huh.
telling Dylan.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So when did they actually meet?
We actually went out, and he had actually come. We went and ate. I forgot where we went. I think it was like Olive Garden or something. And they met him. And Marissa was nice or whatever. Dylan was very hesitant, not really, very distant. Like you could tell there was issues. But I already told the kids a lot about him, that they knew Uncle Cullen, that Aunt Christine knew him, like a lot of that kind of stuff. We went to school together, so they were like receptive. Like if I had to grade, I'd probably say like a C. Marissa was more of a B, because Marissa told me, "Mom, I can tell you're happy. Like I can tell
Yeah.
you're happy." Dylan was so busy with basketball and college recruitment and all that stuff. He wasn't as receptive, but he's a boy as well.
Right.
Um, so it was a little harder with Dylan, but Scott would come into town, and I mean, we had been doing like he'd get what do you call it, like an Airbnb, and I'd go meet him in Mandeville,
Yeah.
or I would sometimes go to Pensacola, or sometimes like we kind of had a rhythm, I guess. Um, but I was like, well, he's gonna stay over at the house because it's getting expensive, like
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
um, and so anyway, that was weird, but it was like I left the door open. I wouldn't like late, like I was very like good about all that stuff, because of course, like the family was like, I can't believe you're letting him. I was like, we've been dating like almost not quite, well, it was 6 months then, but it was like not quite a year before he started to stay over, and he was the one
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of like, we're together. I'm not going anywhere, like
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So that was weird and hard. And it is weird and hard because you're married, like Rick and I were married. I thought he'd be forever. To have to do this baloney again, it's weird,
It
but
is. It is
it worked out.
weird. It
Very
is.
weird.
It's weird that,
Yeah.
and I told you, I remember getting so aggravated with the fact that I had to do all of this again, the whole
Yeah.
dating thing again. I'm like, I did it already.
Yeah.
I did it. I
Yeah.
don't want to do it again.
Hmm.
Um,
But
but I mean, especially factoring in kids, when kids are in the picture and you're trying to
I think it was
protect
easier.
them.
I think it was a little easier with me than some of my widow friends, because my kids were at an old enough age. They knew about dating because they were in their teens. They were juniors in high school at this time. I met Scott when they were, I guess, the end of their sophomore year. Yeah, so they were juniors. I guess when we got more serious, I guess. Yeah, so they were old enough to understand dating and mom needs a life, and that.
Yeah.
But it was my daughter, who I'm super close to, who's like, mom, you're happy. I can tell you're happy, and that's all I want for you. I want you to be happy. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
So.
great that she was so
Mhm.
understanding. And I mean, and of course, like, Dylan's going to be protective of you because you're the
Yeah.
mom, you
Well,
know?
Dylan was a little harder because this is like when I had, I guess, a year after Scott and I been together. Dylan was like, "Mom, I don't know why you would get married again. Like nobody's as good as Dad. Like, why would you do that? Like, I don't
Oh,
understand." And so just like I'm very honest with my kids. I was like, Dylan, I don't want to be by myself. I said, but I also want somebody to do stuff with. He's like, well, you've got Abuela. That's my mom. We call her
yeah,
Abuela.
yeah, yeah.
And he said, you have all your friends. I said, Dylan, it's not the same. It's not the same. And this is kind of goofy and funny, but because we traveled a lot with Dylan and Marissa with their sports, but we were in, I forgot where we were. Like, well, I'm gonna say Orange Beach. That's not where we were. We were somewhere, and there was this guy that was like a dad that was single. Dylan's like, why don't you date like somebody like this? Like, and I'm like, and this guy was not like not like Rick, not like no. And I was like, Dylan, I was like, Dylan, no. He's like, no, mom, he's nice, like, And I was like, it was funny. It was funny, but
Oh,
but
no.
no, they're close now. And Dylan has sat down before we got married. He sat down with Scott, like, "Are you marrying my mom? And do you really love her?" Like he's trying to be the parent here,
Right.
which
He
was
is.
which was weird, but I felt bad. because unfortunately with, losing their dad, Dylan really kind of felt like he had to be the man of the house and
Yeah.
protect me. And I hate to tell you this, but like if there was roaches, like I can kill roaches now, but like Dylan did it. Like if there was a mouse, I'd call my neighbor, but you know but I felt bad about that. And I think Dylan always is going to try to protect me, but he's been
Yeah.
super supportive, when we got engaged and all that stuff. So, it's good now.
Yes. Oh, your kids are amazing. They really are.
God, thank God.